All right, hey everyone, and welcome back to the away lobby. Um, so I've been thinking about this topic a lot today actually, and I was sure if I was gonna do a video on it or not, but I just couldn't wait any longer, I guess. Um, so today, well, yesterday, I was going through it a little bit with like just being in my own thoughts and thinking about things, and just trying to get over a couple things, like just trying to be okay, with myself, my own thoughts, being by myself, not having to distract myself all the time. Just kind of like sitting with it. And I did that a lot yesterday. So I woke up today and I felt a lot better just being able to do that um, with myself. And, every day is not the same. Some days it's easier, some days not so much. Um, Yesterday was a challenge, but, got through it and I woke up today. I felt a lot better. Um, and So today, I told myself, let's just get out because I was gonna just order what they call it grab out here, but it's like Uber Eats. I was just gonna order that, stay inside, and just chill day. But I told myself, nope, just get out, go do something, go walk around, go eat somewhere. So I decided to go to the mall over there, right across the street, and decided to just eat at this place. And I sat down. There was actually this guy. He was sitting down at this table, and there's like three tables. They're like small tables, so like one chair on each side, three of them connected. And he was sitting on the left one, or maybe I don't know which way's left to you guys, but this is the left one. And I asked him, if anybody else was sitting here. He said no, so I sat on the right side. And so as I was sitting there, and I was noticing just a lot of people in groups, everybody just in a group, talking to each other, laughing, whatever. And I was just observing people, just watching people, and I was like, man, like this is kind of refreshing. And what I mean by that is that I remember listening to another like expat, and he said like when he sat down and was like eating or whatever, he kind of explained it to the as in a way it was like I'm sitting here and no one's thinking about me and no one's worried about me. And it wasn't in a bad way. It was more like in a refreshing way. Like no one's worried about me and I'm not worried about anybody. And as I sat here, I was thinking like, that kind of makes sense right now. Like, you have all these groups and everybody's talking and so there's some people who aren't talking in the groups, I guess. Like it's kind of like every dynamic, right? You got the one person who's always talking or two, three people, and you just kind of there just going through the motions. Whatever. And it honestly, like, I guess a lot of the times I can just sit there. I mean, I do sit there and I eat by myself with earbuds in. Sometimes I'm playing music, sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm listening to videos, sometimes I'm not. I'm just chilling there in the moment with my headphones in, and it is refreshing. Like just thinking about it, where I'm not worrying about like my significant other or my partner or whoever you may have waiting for you at home or whatever the case may be, and they're worried about you where you're at. You're texting them like, "Hey, I'm just grabbing some to eat," or "Hey, I'm gonna stop by over here," or you're worried about where they're at, right? Where are you home or what are you doing? I don't know how you guys' dynamics work, but it is refreshing just to kind of wake up, do your thing, whatever you got to do for the day, and then on your free time, just go out and it's like whatever you want to do. No one, you don't have to, I guess, quote unquote, report to somebody or in that sense where you just go and do what you want. There's no pushback. There's no, oh, we have this schedule, like with me, with my family, my friends. Like it's just, hey, whatever you want to do. And in that time frame, I was just pick. I'm just gonna go, and I ate. I sat down. I enjoyed myself. And when I was looking around, like I was like, man, this is actually pretty nice. Like as much as like I don't know if I made it sound nice, but it was nice. It was refreshing just to like see it in that from that viewpoint of just relaxing, being by myself, chilling. And the craziest thing when I was just sitting there, so there's like this, just a whole bunch of tables full of people, and there's just one table that had like 6 or 8 people there, a whole bunch of tables pushed together, and they got up and they were leaving, and one of the girls walked over to our table, and I wasn't sure she was about to talk to me or not, so I was like, I looked up, and she started talking to the guy next to me, and she said something. He's like, okay, I'll get, he's like, okay, I'm done eating. And he gets up and he lays with them. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, and I was just thinking to myself, like he chose not to sit with them. He was sitting by himself, like I said, at this 3 tables pushed together by himself, away from the group. And I was thinking, like, he wanted to be alone. He wanted peace away from everybody. But he still had, in a sense, he was still in this group and he had to hang out with them, right? He still had to, I guess, quote, like eat with them, and then when they left, he had to leave with them. But it was, in a sense, he wanted his own time to himself, and he was getting it. Um, but it just made me think, like, maybe it's more, maybe being alone, maybe being isolated is not as bad as, or it doesn't, it's not always bad, right? It has its good moments, kind of like that. Um, that made me think back to the times where I think it was a lot of times where I felt like that too. I'd be at a party, I'll be out eating or hanging out with friends, whatever, and I'll just kind of like regress into like a corner or somewhere where I don't have to talk to people and I don't have to socialize, and I'm just kind of like chilling by myself and being my own thoughts and like um just kind of relaxing, being by myself. And I thought back to those moments where it's like I need to cherish these moments because they're not always going to be here. And I remember thinking to myself about that. And I thought back to those parties where I thought about those things, uh, like the New Year's party before one of my good friends passed away. His birthday was on New Year's. And I remember doing that. I went outside and I was just away from everybody, underneath the little, what do they call that? Balcony? No, the balcony's on top. What is that called? I don't know. Outside, a little cover. And I remember it was like drizzling a little bit. So nobody was really out there. It was a little cold, but I decided I just needed time away from everybody. I went out there and I was just like listening to the rain, and it's a little chilly, but I like it cold. And I was just like, I just need to be away from everybody. But I thought in that moment, like, these moments aren't gonna last forever, and I need to learn how to enjoy it and stop, like, not stop, but um, I guess stop isolating myself too much. And like I said, I thought back to that moment, like, man, it was true. Like, maybe I should have enjoyed it a little bit more, those moments. And that's not one. It's like just one I thought about in the time being. But there's plenty more where I go off and be by myself. And yeah, and I thought it was just something to think about. I don't know if you guys ever experienced stuff like that, or maybe right now you're going through moments where you are hanging out with your friends and you're doing stuff, and then you just want to be by yourself, and you do that, and um, maybe one day you can look back at this and you'll think about those moments too, and you're just like, oh man, maybe I should have cherished them a little bit long or a little bit better than what I did before. Maybe open your eyes to something that you're taking for granted, in a sense. Um, strange, not strange, but there's a guy who sat right in front of me, older gentleman. He had to be at least in his 50s, and he was just sitting there eating by himself, right in front of me. Not at my table, but the table like right in front of me. And I was looking at him. I don't know his situation. I don't know anything. But as I was looking at him, I was like, I don't want to be like that guy. Like, not in a sense like in a bad sense, but it just reminded me of my last video when I mentioned, like, when I would be sitting at my desk looking at my window of my apartment, I see that one guy going up to his room, that mid 30, 40-year-old guy who'd go to his like apartment by himself, and then he's playing Call of Duty Black Ops at night, and I see right into his living room because he leaves his blinds open. But and I told myself I don't want to be like that guy. I don't want to be alone when I'm older. And then I'm looking at this guy. Like I said, I don't know his situation. He could be just taking a break from everybody, going off, going to eat. he maybe have a family at home, maybe he doesn't. But from what I've seen out here, there's a lot of older gentlemen walking by themselves. A lot of older gentlemen just single, I guess, or alone. And as I was looking at him, I was like, man, I don't want to be like that. Like, honestly, I don't want to be 50 years old eating by myself. Um, yeah, with no one to go back home to. You know how hard it is to find a like I guess I could say partner. I don't know if you're a guy or a girl listening to this. You know, husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, partner, whatever. I don't want to use that word because people tend to correlate it with something else. But your lover, whatever. Um, yeah, I just can't imagine at that age being like alone. I guess when you're younger, like, oh, I'm fine being alone because you have all this time right left, and you're not really thinking about it. But as you get older, and it's hard to make friends if you don't have any friends, or it's hard to find even loved ones, or it's harder to find a partner who kind of fits some of your criteria, right? Maybe you don't want somebody with kids. Well, a lot of people out there have kids. Maybe you want somebody, I guess, around your age, and it's hard to find that. I don't know, man. But I just saw him, and I was kind of like in my head, like, I don't want to be like that. Just from what I've seen, like I said, I don't know his whole story, but from what I see, I'm like, I don't want to be like that, man. That old, alone, in a different country. um, yeah, that was just kind of like food for thought. But yeah, I mean, I guess he was just doing his thing. Who knows? Maybe he loves his life and he likes the solitude. But I'm starting to notice a lot of guys are doing it now. Just packing up, going overseas, try to find a better life for themselves. Some of the guys, they've worked their whole lives and they're over here and they're trying. They're trying to find a more peaceful life, of one where they're not actually trying to stretch their every single dollar that they have, right? One where they can take their money and it goes to a certain length to where they're not stressed over money anymore, and they can actually enjoy their retirement. And then you have younger guys like me who are trying to just figure out things in life. um I want to say like find a place where I belong, but currently right now I'm trying to create that place instead of finding it um within my life, here on YouTube, trying to create a space, a community here. So it's more about creating now instead of trying to find and insert myself there. But yeah, I mean, okay, I think I'll just keep rambling on here. I think you guys might have gotten the point. But if you found any of this helpful, useful, if you want to comment on it, I'll reply to you. We talk about it. Um, I know these are my early videos, so it's not really. I don't think anybody's gonna see these, but it's all right. We keep it going, and I'll just keep pumping them out whenever I find something to talk about. Um, that's been on my mind. But yeah, if you made it this far, thank you as always, and I'll catch you guys next time. Take care.